So I've picked myself up a Gameboy Micro for a cool $90 dollarydoos. Obviously this thing is pretty beat up by the look of things, but they are coming up on 20 years old next year. Now it lives up to the name Micro by being an impressive 4 inches wide. Now I've got something small and red attached to me, and 4 inches would be pretty impressive. I'm jealous. But as the saying goes, it's not about the size, it's about how you use it. And currently this thing is not being used at all because it doesn't turn on. Best case scenario here, we have a dead battery in conjunction with this bodgy port. So let's rip it open and find out. So in typical Nintendo fashion here, we have a mix of tri-wing screws and Phillips head screws on the exterior here, including the battery, which looks like it should just pull out. And with that battery out of the way, we see more Phillips head screws, so let's get them out of the way. I'm interested to see what it looks like inside. So with that backplate coming off, it reveals a bunch of gunk and a mid-frame I need to remove, which has been a bit of a prick and sticking down in that shoulder button area. And that's because there's a tab you've got to pull back. The more you know, hey? Let's get these other Phillips head screws out of the way so we can get this board out. Of course, don't rip it too fast. We have screen connectors here. Real painful way to get them out. So we've got one at the bottom attached to our start select buttons by the look of things. What the hell? It's not connected to the board by a connector? It's just straight wired to the board. Okay, that's new and exciting for me. Really don't want to rip it because that would be an absolute prick to try and fix. Oh, thank God for that. Now with that board out, we'll have a quick look, but everything else seems to be in order, so we'll get it under the scope to look at the port. So it looks pretty beat up, a little bit of corrosion in there, a bit of dust, possibly missing a pin or two by the look of things. So let's get it replaced with this brand new one. Woohoo, look at that. I just put some Captain tape over my LCD connector. Don't want it to be collateral damage here. Based on my Chinese soldering station, I am running about 80% airflow at 420 degrees here. Beautiful. I'm gonna use the desoldering braid to empty out all those holes. Once all those holes are empty, feed it some alcohol and give it a good rub. Quick comparison between the two ports. If you do require a new port, I will provide an affiliate link down below of the exact ones I've used here. And you can see we do need to bend the pins so they'll fit on the correct angle. I don't know why they don't pre-bend them. It does suck, but they were all like that. I'm gonna go across one by one, nice and gently with the tweezers, and just bend it the whole way down at the plastic angle there. And with those all bent and a bit of wiggling and jiggling, we have fit into the board again. We're going to hit it with the flux and then we can solder the legs in one by one. Looks pretty dang good to me, so I'm going to put the battery back on and give it a charge before reassembling the whole thing to see how it goes. 0.22 amps and blue lights, we are charging. I'm going to reattach the screen and see if this screen works. Given they didn't tell us what was actually wrong with this thing, it just does not work. Okay, so it should be enough together to test now. I've got a blue light from the power switch. Oh, I can see something on screen. But it's not quite right. No, it's not. Alright, so potentially this is a dodgy screen. As I said, the seller never told me what was wrong with it. Or I've done a rubbish job putting the connector back in. Just have a look at this board again. I really don't see anything wrong near that connector, no corrosion or anything like that. I also don't see anything wrong on the screen side. All the pins are there, there's no corrosion or any tears or anything like that. So let's reseat it first and see how we go. Oh, there you go. All right, I just did a shit job the first time around. That's fair. That is fair. It happens. And just before we check if it's reading games all right, quick shout out to PCBWay.
Are you looking for top-notch PCB manufacturing? Look no further than PCBWay. With over a decade of experience, PCBWay offers unparalleled quality, fast turnaround times, and unbeatable prices. Whether you need a prototype or mass production, their advanced facilities ensure precision and reliability. With worldwide shipping, you're always in good hands. And if you're not after PCB printing, then they still have a web store where you can get the latest tools, toys, and merch to satisfy your needs. Check them out. I'll leave a link in the description below.
Better whacking a game while we're here and see that it's reading that alright. Got the trusty kids baseball. Can't go wrong. Absolute banger. Yeah, we've got the Nintendo logo, so that's a good sign. Oh, there you go. Start button. Let's give that a test. Woohoo, look at that. There you go. I mean, I can't test the other buttons. I don't have the pads behind them at the moment, but I think they should be alright. They looked pretty good too. So overall, it seems like it was just a dodgy charging port. Now that we know it works, we should address the cosmetic issues we are facing here. I've just focused on the repair today, so we'll do a separate video about the restoration of it, where we give it a repaint and stuff, because we can't resell it when it looks like that, with that button paint missing, so scratched up on the front. So any ideas? I'm not a creative person, so if you've got any ideas for what we should do, otherwise I'm just going to go red on red like it is at the moment.